Have you ever had something so creepy happen to you that your brain was just like, we're not going to talk about that again? Yeah. Tonight's stories are exactly that kind of energy. We've got cops seeing things on patrol that they can't explain, siblings being haunted by the same ghost on the same night, only to realize it years later. And one poster who said that they felt something right on their heels, but their spirit told them, don't turn around and don't run from it. And to be honest, I would have listened too. Because if something is trolling behind me and I didn't invite it, baby, that's your business, not mine. What's good? What's good in the YouTube hood? It's your girl, Luna Nova, and I'm back with another one for y'all today. Welcome back to the Mystic Muse, where we dive into the creepy, the conspiracy, and the downright strange. For those of you that are new to the channel, I am Luna, your favorite hoodoo homegirl and favorite storyteller. Yeah, check out the podcast while you're here, because I got a few episodes up. And over here with the Hoodlum family, we laugh when things get a little too haunted to keep from crying. And of course, with Halloween just passing, I got to go down the rabbit hole of some of these spooky stories, some really juicy ones, I might add. So the next few compilations are going to be on point. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and dim the lights, and grab some protection items from the Etsy or the Shopify from yours truly, because these next few stories are going to be a doozy. So settle in and get cozy for these next few stories, only if you dare.
All right, it's Halloween. I'm going to tell you a story. In 21 years of law enforcement, I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of very strange things I've seen personally, the stories that I've heard, people I've talked to. We see a lot of very strange stuff in, borderline paranormal and beyond. So I'm going to tell you a story today. I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again. So here we go. All right. It was 2007. I remember that because the Bears were playing in the Super Bowl, and big Bears fan. So I was trying to listen to the game, and then we got a call. It was toward the end of the game, so it was toward the later in the evening. We got a call way out in the sticks. Now, our police in a normally relatively big city, but this was way out in the sticks, a place I'd never been before. So I go out there, and it's way off in the back, in the cut, in the sticks. We go out there, it's pitch black out there, and we get to this ranch-style house, and it's got a little porch light on the side. And in the back, behind the house, is a dark greenish colored barn. So, okay, we get there, my partner and I get there, and I can't remember who went out there with me. It was 2007. So we get there, we talked, and everything is cool. And so the partner says, okay, cool, everything's good. I'm gonna go ahead and go. He left, but I'm trying to watch the game, right? Because he's at the game on the TV. So I'm watching the game, I'm listening to him. I'm watching the game, I'm listening to him. The Bears are screwing up, typical Bears. But anyway, so he says things like, every time she comes here, she brings that evil with her. This was a domestic situation, if I didn't say that before. And so he said, every time she come here, she brings that evil with her. She's an evil, dark woman. She's into some dark stuff. And he's saying all of this stuff, and I'm half listening because I'm trying to watch the game and listen to him. I'm like, yes, sir. Dark stuff. Right. So he finally says, okay, cool, be safe. I was like, okay, have a good night. Everything's good. You need anything else, call us. I walk outside to go get in my car. When I walk outside, I see something walk from the barn to the back of the house. Keep in mind, he's got that porch light, and that's like the only thing that's illuminating anything around there because it's so dark. I could hear it, and it sounded massive, and it's walking behind, so I could vaguely see it, and it looked like a very huge horse. But it wasn't a horse. If I could describe it, the silhouette was like the smaller part, the back part of the animal was like shorter, and the front part of the animal was much taller. And the front part of the animal kind of looked muscular, and it had a really smooth, streamlined snout. And so I said, that's definitely not a horse. So I'm thinking it might be a moose, but there are no moose here. So I said, it's not a moose, it's not a horse. Wait, what is that? Whatever it was, I'm from Chicago. We don't deal with stuff like that, okay? So I'm like, look, I'm gonna go and get in my car, and I noped out, right? So I got in the car, and as I cut the lights on to the car, so it illuminated back there, I could see it a little bit better. And as it was peeking its head from behind the ranch-style house, I could see it had a really smooth snout like a Doberman Pinscher. And I said, that's really strange, but I wasn't thinking anything paranormal. I'm thinking, I don't know what they got going on back in the backwoods, but I don't want to be any part of it. So I thought it reverse. I go back. As I'm backing out, now it's coming from behind the house, and I can see it really good. Again, really tall in the front, kind of smaller in the back, and kind of muscular built in the front, and with that snout, almost like the Egyptian Anubis, like that animal. That's what it would put you in the mind of, that face. So anyway, so I backed up. I don't want any parts of this, so I leave. I'm going about, let's say, 40, 45 miles an hour, and this thing is galloping behind me. Not like getting it, it's just kind of galloping behind me. It's keeping up. And I know most animals top out at about 30, 35 miles an hour, unless you're a cheetah. But this thing was keeping up. So keep in mind, it's so dark. I have the floodlights on, I have the takedowns on, I have the high beams on, and I have the spotlight on. So, it's really dark back there. But this thing is keeping up, so I turn on the blue lights. When I turn on the blue lights, I could see it a lot better through my rear view. When I looked back there, it was like, again, the face of like a Doberman Pinscher, and it had like long, thick hair. It wasn't like a mane for a horse. It was like in its face, and it like long, thick hair. And it's just galloping behind me. So now at this point, I'm still not thinking anything paranormal. It's just weird to me. So I pick up the pace. I said, I know there's a road up here. When I hit that road, I'm out. So I hit the road. I make that right. I almost hit it like Tron. I hit that right. And this thing comes, and when it gets on the road, I hit to about 65, 70 miles an hour. This thing is catching up to me. And I said, the only animal I know that's that fast is a cheetah. This thing is catching up to me. And I said, I know once I hit this other turn here, I can really open it up. So I drove down there. I hit the left. And when I hit the left like really hard. And lights, everything's going. I hit the left really hard. This animal came, and as it was trying to turn, it tumbled. But it didn't tumble like the normal way. You know how like an animal would tumble, an animal that size would take a long time to get back up on its feet and get back into the race. This thing tumbled and tumbled and tumbled and reanimated like almost like it was strange, almost like a motorcycle or something. I know that doesn't make any sense. I'm just trying to describe it as best the way it reanimated and got back into the fight, into the race. It was like, it wasn't an animal. So it gets back in, and now it seems like it's gaining on me, and I'm putting the pedal to the metal now, because I'm looking in the rear view. I'm looking in the rear view. And as I got to a certain point, it starts slowing down. And I guess maybe it said to itself, I'm not going to catch this. I'm not going to catch this officer. I'm not going to catch this car, whatever. And it starts slowing down. So now as I'm gaining ground on it, and I'm looking in the rear view, it's about maybe 80 to 100 yards behind me. But I could still kind of see it. As it's running and running and running and running, it looks like it stands up. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I thought I saw. It looked like it stood up. It looked like it was running like a human. And it's like stopped, and it stood there. And as it was standing there, as I'm looking, because I keep in mind, I'm trying to look at the road, look at this, because I don't want to wreck out. So as I looked one more time, it looked like it was standing there, and it looked like the silhouette of a woman. All black. Like it had no features. It was just all black with that long hair. It was just standing like a very tall, muscular woman. And it didn't dawn on me until, I don't know if I'm slow or what, but it didn't dawn on me till years later that when he said she brings that evil with her and she's into very dark things, that this could very well be something paranormal. So that's my story. Let me know if you want to hear more stories like this. I'm telling you, in 21 years of law enforcement, I have seen some very strange things. All right. So with that said, I'm B Boat. You've been briefed. Happy Halloween.
So during the supermoon, I had an experience, and I don't really know exactly what it was. I was feeling real heavy. I don't cry a lot. I just rationalize all of my emotions. So I was sitting over there rationalizing some shit, and I'm like, girl, you just need to cry about it. You just need to cry about it. Because when I'm actually upset, I just go outside into nature. I sit around some trees. I look at the moon. I look at the sky, and I let it out, And I was sitting in this area that I never really sat in before in this neighborhood that I live in now. And it's dark as hell outside, but it's a super moon, so I can still see the ground around me. I'm talking to myself, I'm crying, I'm talking out loud, And at one point, I start hearing like tree branches falling to the left of me, but I'm not really paying it no mind because I'm next to a whole bunch of trees, like it could be anything. And I started hearing trees falling again. And then it got to a point where it was like, I was sitting there peaceful for a while. I was chilling. I was very peaceful, very calm for a while, just chilling after I let my emotions out. And then all of a sudden I heard in my head, get up, go home. And I heard it again, like, get up right now. And then I looked up ahead of me, and it's just like this long, field area kind of ahead of me, and it's this stretch of trees to the left of me. So I'm looking down this field area, and I'm seeing, it looked like something is walking towards me. I don't know if it's a shadow or a man, but it looked like something was walking towards me. It was kind of far off, but it was coming towards me, and it was dark. So it was a bug. So I'm looking at it, and I heard, don't run, turn around, go home. And I got up slowly, I turned around, I grabbed my stuff, and I started walking back towards the house. And I was scared. I was fucking terrified, but I'm like, don't run. So I'm walking, and I'm also hearing in my head, like, don't look back. So I'm not looking behind me. I'm the only person outside. I'm not running. I'm just walking. Trying to walk calmly. It sounds like something is fucking behind me on the street. But I'm a block away from my house, so I'm like, I'm going to just walk home. If it's going to get me, it's going to get me. I'm already out here. But I'm not going to run so it could chase me, I'm going to just walk. And I walked, and I came home, and when I sat in the house, I had to pray over myself and protect my home. I don't know. And another thing to note was, while I was sitting out there, because I was like very much enjoying the ambiance of like the crickets and, stuff like that, it got quiet. It got dead quiet. And I heard in my mind, get up, go home right now. Don't run. Don't look. Just walk, go home. And when I came in the house, I didn't think too much more of it. I just kind of left it at that. But now, like, I've been really thinking about this. What was that? Like, what was that?
I know Halloween is over, but it was on my mind. So let me tell y'all about the story time about how me, my brother, and my sister saw the same exact ghost on the same night. We were young, y'all. We were like grade school age. Me and my sister shared a room at a time. My brother had his own room, which was right next door to ours. We shared a wall. My mom's room was right across the hall. Keep that in mind. Mind you, I don't know how long we lived in this apartment. I want to say we had just moved in because my mom had a habit of, she wanted to try a new apartment every year, a new house every year. So we moved yearly. So I know we wasn't there long. I had just woke up late one night, and I know it was late because I don't know. I just felt it in my bones. And I think my bed was like directly across from the door. And, I was, clear my eyes, and I seen something pass in front of my door. And it looked like my mom. So I was about to call out to her to see, like, girl, what you doing up early? Because it was heading into her room too. So that's why I thought it was my mom. It was literally heading into her room. And so something told me in my gut, don't say anything. Look down at the floor. Y'all, I looked down. It was floating. When I was thinking about it, looking at the face, I couldn't really make out the face, but I'm thinking like, oh, it's just, dark or whatever. But my mom, she don't like the dark. So we had night lights everywhere. So I'm like, it can't be that dark where I can't make out a face. So right as I was like, to throw the blanket over my head, I felt it just turning to, y'all, I was so terrified. I damn near pissed myself. I slept under the covers that entire night. When I woke up the next day, I didn't say a peep to nobody. Now, I know y'all like, well, how did y'all know that y'all seen it? Because we talked about it more recently, almost 20 years later. And we're just now talking about it. They were scared shitless too. It was scary. And what made it scary is the fact that it was dressed exactly the way my mom went to bed that night. She had a blue nightgown with black polka dots on it. So we thought it was my mom. But we sat down and was talking about it more recently, and we actually experienced a lot of paranormal shit in that apartment that at the time we didn't know was paranormal. Like, knowing what I know now, I would have told my mom to get us the hell up out of there, because it was to the point, y'all, when we moved into that apartment, all of a sudden I'm migraines out the wazoo, throwing up in my sleep, y'all, like projectile vomiting. And my mom was rushing me to the ER. She was setting me up doctor's appointment. They was doing MRIs, CAT scans. Like, she thought it was so bad. My mom thought I had a tumor or something. She thought I was sick. And now that I think about it, it was definitely that apartment and whatever was in there, because when we moved, I'm not gonna lie, I still suffer a little bit from, migraines and stuff like that, but I was much better. Like, I wasn't throwing up or anything, but that shit scared us so bad that we kept talking about it for like 20 years and we just not talking about it. But if y'all want more story times, I have a whole story time. I got a scar from living in that same complex. That's a whole different story time. But I'm pretty sure a ghost has something to do with that, because we talked about that too. So if y'all want to know that, let me know.
All right, guys, buckle up, because I'm about to share my story of when I saw a fucking ghost clear as day at the edge of my bed. So 3 years ago, me and my friends went to Portland, Oregon for 4 nights. We stayed at an Airbnb in downtown Portland. I will put the location up here, and I will also show you guys the room where I saw the ghost later on. So everything was fine in the beginning. The dishwasher did turn on by itself, but we kind of just shrugged it off and went about our day. We didn't really spend too much time at the Airbnb because we were just focused on, going on hikes and bike riding around the city and all that stuff, right? So it's our last night at this Airbnb, and it's my turn to stay in the bedroom. So this particular night, I was reading a book, and then I got sleepy, so then I shut my book, turned off the lights, and then I went to sleep. So I woke up at 1 a.m. choking on my spit, and I'm trying to clear my throat, and as soon as I clear my throat, I go back to sleep. Well, 30 minutes after I went to sleep, I woke up abruptly, and at the edge of my bed, there it fucking was, the ghost that I still can't erase out of my mind. It looked like the little boy from The Grudge. I'm gonna put a picture right up here so that way you guys can take a fucking good look at it, because dude, it looked exactly like that little boy, and I was shocked, and it was shocked that I saw it. And bro, it was just at the edge of my bed watching me sleep. And then as soon as I woke up and looked at it straight in the eye, it went from peeking at me to going like, oh fuck, like it saw me. And dude, as soon as I saw that ghost, I fucking booked it out of that room so fast. And I remember just running and not looking back and having chills all over my body. And I jumped onto my friends. They were in the living room sleeping on the couch. And I fucking jumped on them. And I was like, dude, I was hyperventilating. I was telling them what I saw. And then my friend went to go check to see if it was still there, but obviously it was gone. And bro, I could not sleep that night because how the fuck did this thing manifest itself to me? I literally thought, my whole life, I thought ghosts were just shadowy figures. I never thought they would appear in such a clear form. And I'm still shaken up by it. It's been 3 years, but I'm still fucking scared about it. But yeah, my friends believed me because they never seen me in such fear. Like I don't know, bro. I will be putting a picture of the room that I stayed in, and it's right over here. This is the room that I stayed in, and at the edge of my bed is where I saw that ghostly figure. If you guys also had an experience like this, please let me know down in the comments, because it would make me feel a lot better, because I still can't fathom the fact that I saw this thing. And given my beliefs, how spiritual I am, I was like, why me, dude? Like how the fuck did this shit just happen to me? I don't know. It fucked with my head a little bit. But anyways, yeah.
Hey besties. Y'all are really fucking with my story times in Miami and in Haiti, so I want to share some of my scariest stories that happened to me in Vallejo, California. When I lived in the Crest in Vallejo, California, I lived on a street called Janice Street, and that was one of the weirdest streets because it was really quiet in the Crest and nothing really happened because it's kind of like all old people. And it's kind of weird because one of my childhood friends who ended up he lived in that house before I moved in there. And when me and my family moved in there, we found deadbolts on my bedroom. So it looked like they had locked children in there or people in there. My mother definitely used that with me. And there was a dead dog in our backyard. So yeah, also my dog ended up dying in that house as well too. I had never in my life experienced sleep paralysis until I moved into this house. I was very in tune with my energy, and I was a teenager at the time. So when I was a teenager, I was very curious, but at this time I would watch specific YouTubers. I would consume a lot of media that I wouldn't consume anymore. It was very dark, not like true crime, but kind of like paranormal activity and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was I would watch a lot of horror movies. And to this day, I love horror movies, but now it's Halloween, like Michael Myers, nothing crazy, cause I gotta burn this incense really quick. because I'm freaking out. This house was a decent sized house and it had a huge backyard, and my stepdad made like kind of like an in-law unit in the back where we could chill out at. It was kind of like a shack though, and like a storage unit, but before we moved stuff in there, it was like kind of like a little house, okay? I don't know how to explain it, but the energy in the house was like super, super dark, and the house itself was super dark. You can tell that like a lot of interesting things happen there just because of like how much energy was in each room. And I like, whew, now that I'm like remembering it, I like completely forgot about like each room in the house was painted a different color. And because each room is painted a different color, it kind of had like a different energy. And also like I saw different spirits in each room at like 16. It started off really small in this house. Like when me and my mom would be leaving like super quickly to go to the grocery store, this is back when like Food for Less was open. My mom would be like, oh, I forgot my wallet, and I would be running. So like from the garage, you had to go into the laundry room, then go into the kitchen, and then go down a long hallway. Ooh, the first room was my brother's room, and in that room was where the spirit of this little boy was, and this was very scary to me. He would reveal himself in He would reveal himself in really interesting ways. So when I would like run in to get my mom's wallet, as I'm passing my brother's room, I would be able to see the little boy like sitting down. That would be really, really scary for me. I remember this one time when I was running back inside, I think I had left my laptop, and I ran inside, and the little boy was sitting crisscross applesauce on my brother's bed, like with his back facing me. And when I had turned to like get a good look, I didn't see anything. And that's what was scary about this little boy, is like he would play with you, and I wasn't playing. There was nothing funny. There was actually nothing funny. And when my nephew was born, before my nephew was born, I would see this little boy all the time. But then once my nephew was born, I never saw this little boy again. Late. I remember it was like maybe like 1 a.m. And my house was always up. Somebody was always up. Me and all my family members have insomnia. I remember when I was falling asleep, I had laid down kind of just like flat with my face up to the ceiling. And I never did that. I remember as I was falling asleep being like, oh, this is oddly comfortable. Like I remember thinking that. And the way that my bed was, this bed used to be a bunk bed. For me. This bed had like heart-shaped, it had like ingrained like hearts in it, and in the hearts were tinier hearts and roses in there, like little flowers, and there were bars in between it, and it was white. And this bed squeaked a lot. And I remember waking up, and this is important because this is how my sleep paralysis would go. I remember waking up, and to the feeling of my bed, because it was rickety, because it used to be a bunk bed, so I don't know how to explain it. You know, when you moved in it, it kind of like rocked in a way, and it made a squeaking sound. Well, it was like a swing, like somebody was pulling my bed really slowly, and then pushing it, pulling it, and then pushing it. And that motion had woken me up, and when I woke up, I had seen this little boy at my bed holding my the bars. I remember him just staring at me, and I shot up, and when I shot up, I was able to see like multiple, how do I explain this? There were multiple little boys in the room. This is freaking me out. He was at the edge of my bed. There was another one looking at me by my door, and there was another one behind me. And they were just staring at me. And the one who was at the door had opened the door. And when they had opened the door, I was standing there. And my eyes were big and black. And as I noticed that my eyes were big and black, I started to notice that the little boy's eyes were big and black. And when I had noticed that, I had woken up. So I wasn't awake. That whole interaction that I had just like experienced, I wasn't awake. I was having a sleep paralysis. And my mother had came because she was just all like, your bed was creaking. Like your bed was creaking. So I came in. Ooh. So the next day, my dog, he was a blue-nosed pit bull and he was huge. He stood up at the door. So we had a gate and then we had like a door. And the white door you could open and the gate you could leave locked and shut so wind could come in. And there was a little boy standing there, and this little boy looked he looked completely normal. He just looked like a kid in the neighborhood, and he was just standing there, and my dog stood. His tail was long, his ears were up, and my dog had such floppy ears, so this was so weird. And my dog was just standing there, and I was just like, oh, Bubby. And the little boy was just sitting there, and I was like, oh, hi. And I had opened the door and went outside, and he was just like, do you live here? And I was like, yeah. And he was just like, oh, have you seen my dog? And I was just like, no, what kind of dog did you have? And he was like, he kind of looked like yours. And I was just all like, no, I haven't, but I know that there's a lady on the corner who is selling dogs. And me and my family ended up getting a second pit bull from them. Anyways, that's not where we got my first dog from, though. The little boy was just like, oh, okay. And he left and he walked away. And as the little boy walked away, I saw like a gunshot wound in his head that I didn't see before. And I never saw that little boy again. And I think that was that little boy like saying goodbye to me.
Now, what did we learn? If a cop told you that they saw something unexplainable, believe them. If your sibling says that they saw the same ghost that you did, obviously believe them. You're not tripping. And if your spirit tells you not to turn around, honey, don't turn around. I mean, quite literally, do anything else. Run, pray, sage, throw some Florida water, but don't turn around. I don't know about you guys, but spooky season definitely brought out some of the best stories this year. I have been down the rabbit hole, and like I said, I'm definitely going to have some really nice ones for the next few videos. And if you have any of your own creepy encounters that you would like for me to share here with the Hoodlum family on the podcast side, then you need to go ahead and send it into my email so we can be featured on the next episode for Mystic Monday. But until then, stay spooky, stay safe, and remember, if you hear something behind you, it's probably me reminding you to like and subscribe and go check out the Etsy. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and edit this one so I can push another one for you guys. So be sure to drink your water, mind your business, and stay protected and protected. And as always, Luna loves you. I'll be back with another one if the spirits allow it. Keep it right.